Hey everybody, it's Tina Brigley, and I'm here with my friend Nancy Michelli. So, the reason why I had her on is because I had such a mind-blowing experience with her that I wanted to share it with all of you. So, you know that I'm an open book and I share my life, right? I saw Nancy on LinkedIn, and she says she was a hypnotherapist and she does, different treatments and stuff like that. And I reached out to her and I'm like, that's really cool. And she said, well, would you love a session? I'm like, okay, I'll have a session with you, but I got to tell you, I can't be hypnotized. She said, okay, let's have a call anyways. So we're on the call and she said, well, tell me why you feel like you can't be hypnotized. And I said, I've tried it in the past. It just doesn't work for me. And so she took me through this experience. The next thing I knew, she said, I'm going to count back from five, four, three, two, one, and you're not going to be able to open your eyes. And so I'm sitting there with my eyes closed and I am trying my darndest to open my eyes. I could not open my eyes. I'm like, okay, so I'm hypnotized. So I'm going to share more about what else opened up for me. But before I do that, I want Nancy to just introduce herself and tell us, Nancy, like, who are you? How did you get into this? And just explain, share with us.
So thank you very much, Tina, for having me on the show. It is so much fun for me to do hypnosis and use this to help people. But kind of my background is a little bit odd. I have been working, I still work full time as an engineer. So I have that curious mind to understand why things happen. And I have studied coaching and was developing my coaching business. And I felt that my level of stress was really, really high. So I was like, okay, I'm going to learn meditation. And then that led me actually into studying hypnosis. And now recently, in the process I took you through, is known as rapid transformational therapy, which was designed by Marissa Peer and is, like, to me, the ultimate form of hypnosis and the ultimate way to help people overcome issues that they don't necessarily even understand why is happening. So when I ask as a coach, what do you think is the cause of whatever behavior you want to change? They, with their conscious mind, give me some things that have recently happened, or maybe even something that has happened in the past. But when I dig in through a hypnosis and use the subconscious mind, I get to actually hear the truth as to what's going on. And that person gets to discover the truth as what is going on, which may not even be something that they even recognize or connect with. And so it's really a cool method, I think, to dig into that subconscious and remember things that you've known that you've forgotten completely in your life.
That is to a T the experience that I had with you because I can't even believe I'm going to share this, but I am totally sharing this on Facebook right now. So she said, what area of life do you want to take on? And I said, I don't really want to take this on, but I think I might, like, I should. So it was in the area of the relationship with my husband. Now we have a great marriage, communication, everything, but I'm always like pulled back from him. Like I'm not 100% like connected. And I have this experience, like I'm always in trouble, or I'm always, like, I remember before when we were separated for 3 years, I would like lie to him about things like how much money I spent because I was always afraid of getting in trouble. But he's like, why do you lie to me about how much? Like, I don't really care. But that experience was real. So Nancy took me through this process of going back further and further in my life that I remembered this story. So I'm in the backyard with my friends doing like a play or something. We're having fun. And I said something to one of my friends. Now, I don't remember what I said, but my uncle was in the backyard with us. And my uncle did not like what I said. So he grabbed me by the scruff of the neck. He dragged me behind the garage and started spanking me. And so, like, I kind of remembered that story, but not really. But when you asked me, what was that experience like for you? It was like I was in trouble. But not only that, it was like when I have fun, I get into trouble. And so one of the things that people say to me is like, you're so significant, like you're so serious all the time. Why don't you just have fun? And I used to be able to have fun when I was drinking. I would let loose and have fun, but I felt like I needed to drink to have fun. So going back through this hypnosis process, I realized that fun could get me in trouble. And with my
Yeah.
husband, one of the things that was missing is I wouldn't have fun, like just be playful and fun. And so when I had this discovery, I'm like, oh my gosh, the experience was, is this real? Like, is this, but then what happened after? My husband and I went on date nights. Our communication is different. I'm more playful. I'm smacking his ass in the kitchen. Like, it's almost like I gave myself permission to just have fun. It's crazy how that works. Tell us, how is this
It is.
possible?
So what is really cool, and people are like, okay, did I remember that? Did I have that? And that's kind of one of the things you're asking. And the reality is it doesn't remember if the scene is exactly what it is that has happened. And sometimes those scenes may be something you've seen on TV or you've witnessed with other people, but somehow you've stored it as an emotional connection. And when you emotionally connect with something, your brain actually allows your body now to start to react. So you don't even necessarily know that you're doing, because it's not a mind, but like your mind is saying, oh, I'm not going to have fun. It's an emotion that is trapped within your body, and you're like, and it becomes that natural reaction for you. So what happens is, and this is what I really like about this method of hypnosis, is I then have see that through adult eyes. And when you get to rewatch that through adult eyes, you get to reprogram what that meaning is and what that emotional response is. So we talk about things like in the hypnotic state of, well, playing and having fun. And sometimes we do things that adults may not see as appropriate, but we don't necessarily recognize them. It's okay. And, it was a moment in time. You were having fun, and it was just a standard reaction that a young kid, I think you were like 7 or 8 years old at the time. And that's a normal reaction. So we now take that through adult eyes and go, you know what? It's okay. And you get to be the adult to yourself and rewire that emotion and that program back into your mind. So as we go back, and we typically do 3 scenes, and there's a few other techniques we do in this process, but it gives you a chance to take a look at something that's happened in your past. And with that, as I call it, 2020 vision, and this is kind of the year of 2020, it's like an opportunity for you to look back and rethink about what that is now that you get to look at it through adult eyes. And it's really just quite a great method. And the reason it works well in hypnosis is that if you think about times where you've forgotten something that you know the answer to, so maybe you've forgotten the name of somebody, the harder and the harder you try and think about it, it just does not come to you. But if you walk away at some later time in the day, that name just pops up and comes right into your mind. And that's what happens sometimes in coaching and even in psychology sessions, is that you're so focused on trying to come up with the right answer that it doesn't always come true. So in hypnosis, you're relaxed and your conscious mind actually is out of the way. So your subconscious mind is able to tell you what is actually going on behind there.
It's so incredible. Like, I know when I see patterns in people's behaviors and the way that they show up and things that are stopping them. And usually I can find a moment in the past where they made a decision about themselves. But the thing with ourselves, like, we can't always see what's blind to us. Right? Like, we
Yeah.
can't see.
Yeah.
I knew that there was something there, but we have this unique way of like kind of hiding that it's actually there or pretending that it's not there, right?
Mhm.
And so I
Yeah.
love this because I feel like what you do and what I do is very complementary, except you go a
Yeah.
little bit when people can't, they're not consciously aware of what they're hanging on to, and
Yeah.
it's just like a different level. I feel like a deeper level. because it's
Mm,
easy for me to just say, okay, so where else has that showed up in your life? And they're like, oh, well, there was this one time. But for me, I thought that I had uncovered most of my blocks, but there was still this one
mhm.
thing, the layer that wasn't peeling back. I'm like, okay, I know enough to know that there's something there. I don't know what it is. But now, do you help people like with like to quit smoking? Do you help people with trauma? Like who do you work with?
So my key focus is people with stress and anxiety. And stress and anxiety can lead to multiple things. So people will smoke or have addictions like overeat, those types of things because of stress and anxiety. Or really, people can get stress and anxiety or have that built into them because of traumas that happened in the past. So when people have sources of fear or stress or anxiety, those are the key reasons that I am trying to utilize hypnosis to help people. And I do it through a package typically of doing the hypnosis session first using rapid transformational therapy. And then from there, we determine if it's necessary to add a coaching plan on to their process to try and work with them. My goal and ultimate is to help people in their careers and develop better in their careers and work with people, especially in the high stress positions. So we're talking um, people in leadership roles experience a lot of high stress. And because they experience stress, their teams and organizations experience stress, as
Mhm.
well as people in the law enforcement or in trauma counseling who need help themselves because they are receiving a lot of kind of negative stuff happening on a regular basis. That being said, I also just I'm helping a woman right at the moment who has an eating issue, and she had a motorcycle accident, and as because of all that pain, she's trying to get back into eating correctly and exercising and moving. And the other cool thing is, and it wasn't until I started this, I find I do really, really great at hypnotizing people over the internet. So I don't need people in my office, which is what happened with you, right? You were sitting on the other side of a camera screen just like this. So
Oh, I know.
it's quite amazing. Mhm.
And it's so funny and unique. I had another hypnosis session before where I had rocks in my hands, and you had to hold the rocks until basically like they fell out of your hands. It took
Mhm.
me 12 minutes to let go, to be fully relaxed enough to drop the rocks. And it was funny because I could feel them. It was like the hands of a clock going tick, 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 tick. And then they just fell out. But yeah, it was a crazy experience, but this was different with the eyes, like not being able to open my eyes, and I didn't fight it, I just let it go. So
Mhm.
there are some people that are watching live, and I just, if you have any questions for Nancy, if you have any questions for me, if you want them answered, now is your chance. And if there's no questions, then we're just going to say goodbye. And thank you so much, Nancy, for sharing your time with us and your expertise. I just love doing these little videos because there are so many amazing people out there that can help with whatever people are dealing with. And I'm a big proponent of people just taking action in their life, taking action to live their best life. And if you feel that there's something that's stopping you or you're blocked with something, just know that if you're willing to take the action, there are people that are willing to help. And Nancy, you're one of those people that I just think you're so amazing at what you do. And I'm
Thank you.
so appreciative. And my husband is appreciative. Is there any
So
final? Yeah.
there's just kind of one thing that I do want to highlight
Yeah.
is unlike other therapy type methodologies, rapid transformational therapy is designed to take place in 1 to a maximum of 3 sessions. So no matter how much you're struggling with something, this is not like you have to come back for years and months of work with me. Ideally, most people, we can resolve their issue within 1 session. And I think that's really, really incredible is that you could overcome some anxiety, procrastination, whatever is stopping you from going forward or having the results that you want, it's typically a one session thing. So people don't have to feel that they need to book for like months and months of work to resolve this. So
You do with me. You get 3 months with me, okay, people? Because I help you work the muscle to keep going and take on other things. But I love that. And it's so true. Transformation happens in a moment where you discover something newly, something that was blind to you before, and then you take action. Really, really amazing. Where can people find you? If they want a session with you, how do they find you? Where do they go?
So I have a few different spots. They could find me at nancymichellecoaching.com or actually Nancy Michelle Coaching on Facebook. And I am available. And the other thing I do want to add to what Tina has said is this is a great session to have before you go into a coaching program, because now it will make your coaching program significantly more effective. And whatever coach you're working with, if you're having a block that's preventing you from moving forward, do one of these sessions and then carry on working with your coach to put the plan in place to have that success that you want in your future.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you all for being here and giving your time to us so graciously. If you think that there's somebody that might benefit from a hypnosis session, share this video, tag them in it, and have an amazing day. Thanks, everybody.